What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about how to treat a man. Now, before I start this, I just want to preface this by saying, if you're not interested in men, if you've given up on dating, if you are overall very pessimistic about the prospect or possibility of having a healthy relationship, this is not for you. No need to get in the comment section being negative, telling women love doesn't exist, good men doesn't exist, all of that bullshit. Just go away or keep it to yourself. We need to stop spreading discouragement among people just because we're not happy. Now, with that out the way, society is very interesting, right? Men and women are programmed in different directions, and then we're supposed to come together as a union, but we often have different beliefs because of that programming. Oftentimes, men are programmed into being gentlemen, treating women a certain way, and while chivalry might be mostly dead, there's still some programming and on large scale programming about how a man is supposed to treat a woman, deal with a woman, handle a woman, and all of these things, right? But there's a lot less programming for women about how to treat a man. The programming for them is about expectation, right? What to expect of a man. But there's a lot less programming about how to treat a man, how to handle your relationship. And I'm not just talking about cook, clean, screw. Those things are valuable enough, I suppose, but they are definitely not respectful of the complexity of the mindset and the ego and the emotional needs of a man in a relationship. They're actually very dismissive of what it takes to actually treat a man well and keep a man. Everything isn't as simple as cook, clean, screw. We often hear about how men are supposed to offer women security, right? But what's mostly missed in this conversation is that women actually provide the same things that men provide to women, to men, just in different forms. Just as a man is supposed to offer a woman security that normally is a protective security, physical, emotional, and definitely financial, security is the currency of love. But just as men will market and offer their physical or their financial security to women, women also offer security to men. Emotional security. But because women aren't often taught how to treat a man, except for very basic and surface level things, this is often missed on women, which makes it very hard to connect to the heart of a man outside of sex and or his own savior complex. So again, this video is about how to treat a man and how to give him the emotional security that men are looking for from relationships, even though they won't explicitly say, I need emotional security in my relationship. That's what a woman's biggest gift to a man is. So the ways to give him that emotional security are as follows. Number 1, express that you believe in him. Too often I meet women who don't understand the value of their opinion. When a man loves a woman and respects her, a lot of what he does is for her intellectual and emotional approval. He needs to know that she believes in him and respects his mind. Men like to be admired. They like to be looked up to. Some of them work very hard to get the admiration of other people around them, right? It becomes something that empowers them, that motivates them, that energizes them. Sometimes the greatest source of that energy, the greatest source of that motivation and that empowerment is your woman. While it might seem very simple, complimenting a man's mindset, complimenting a man's wisdom, his intelligence, respecting and responding to his intellect, can have a huge difference on how a man responds to you and how much a man puts into his relationship. It's one of the main reasons why older men like to date younger women, beyond the fact that they're probably really amazed by very basic shit that older women might just not respond to at all, and beyond the fact that they fetishize the financial security of an older man a lot more. Younger women are more likely to look up to or to admire an older man than an older woman. And while, of course, if a man isn't doing anything admirable or special, he shouldn't be admired, right? I think respect is earned, not given. Within reason, a man still needs to know that his partner respects him, admires him, and to some degree looks up to him. Not as a subordinate, but as an observer of whatever greatness he may or may not see in himself. It's the same type of love you give a brother or a sister or a cousin you want to encourage. They need to know that somebody believes in them, somebody cares. I talk to women all the time who don't have relationships with their family members that are based in respect. People who feel looked over or looked down upon are likely to guard themselves from the source of indifference. You can't be indifferent about the mindset that your man has. You have to be a supporter. You have to be his biggest cheerleader. He has to see that you're invested in what he's doing and that you believe in him. Your belief in him makes him believe in himself. So this is one way that you give a man emotional security. Now, if you're dating men that you don't believe in, then that's your own problem. You need to start choosing differently. But if you're dating a man that you believe in, that you support, that you stand behind, don't hesitate to make that known on a regular basis. Those are the types of compliments, those are the types of comments and observations that keep a man invested in making decisions for the team instead of just making decisions for himself. Moving on. The second way you give a man emotional security is don't compete with the other things or people that he loves. Too often women get with a guy and they want to start cutting things off, right? He plays basketball too much. He hangs out with his friends too much. Don't talk to that family member. They don't like you. They disrespected you. Then she starts to quarantine him away from the things and the people that he admires and he likes. She may compete for time at every turn. Even if a man has kids from a previous relationships, some women start to compete with those kids for time, for attention, for priority. One of the ways that you can nurture your relationship and give your man emotional security is to respect and honor those things that have a place in his heart and in his schedule already. Don't compete with the things he loves. Let him experience those things in addition to your relationship within reason. Of course, you don't want to be neglected. Of course, you want to be considered and prioritized. But those other things aren't necessarily a threat to you if you're dealing with a man that has some wisdom and some balance in how he approaches life. Balance is key here. So recognize what's important to him and give him space to honor that as well. And when you do that, he'll honor you because you're protecting what he loves and you are also becoming what he loves. Too often a woman forms an opposition or an enemy stance against the things that a man already loves. She tries to bogart her place into his life, taking away things that give him security, peace, fun, love, and enjoyment. It starts to feel like he's on punishment because he's in this relationship. I can't come outside to play. I'm in a relationship. I'm sorry I can't enjoy that anymore. I'm in a relationship. Oh, my girlfriend doesn't like that. She gets really pissed off when I do this. Within reason, you have to let a man be who he was before he was with you, so that he doesn't start to lose his identity and resent you for what he believes he's missing out on. Again, within reason. I'm not talking about drug abuse or hanging out with exes and things that are obviously unreasonable. Friends, hobbies, passions. Do what you can to make space and cohabitate with those things as well. Sometimes relationships can start to feel like strict elimination diets to people. And we all know that people can do a diet for a while, but it's not long term. Strictly denying yourselves all the things you love to eat for an extended period eventually ends in a binge of all of those things and a complete destruction of your diet and a regaining of all the weight and an undoing of all the work you've put in to get into shape. Don't do this to your relationship. Cooperate and collaborate with your partner to make sure that these things keep the place that they have in his life. That way your relationship and his habits, patterns, and practices are sustainable. Moving on. The third way to contribute to your man's emotional security is random affection. Again, men won't always ask for what they need because it's not considered masculine, right, to ask for some of these things. It's almost no tough way to say, hey, I would like to be touched more. Hey, I needed a hug today. I needed some kind words. Most of the time, men won't say anything about that, but it doesn't mean they didn't need it and didn't hope for it. You have to remember, a woman provides a softness that a man can't get anywhere else, a warmth that can't be found anywhere else. That's one of your biggest tools to keeping connected with your partner. Just like nobody makes you feel as safe as your man, if you have a good man, nobody should make him feel as warm, as loved, as accepted, as supported, as empowered as you. And sometimes we do that non-verbally, through touch, through intentional contact, and unexpected affection. Men can have pretty hard experiences day to day, especially if they're hardworking and they're in a competitive environment. If they work in environments where people work a little bit cutthroat, they get used to the callousness of other people and the competitive nature of the outside world. When they come home, they need somewhere that they can rest. They need somewhere that they can recharge. Your warmth, your touch, your affection, your kisses, your hugs, your holds, your cuddles. Those things might not be things that men openly complain about not receiving. Those things might not be something that he requests or begs for. But all of those things are valuable. Most human beings need contact. It's a human need. Don't forget how powerful and how effective and how impactful your warmth can be. Use that to your advantage and to your partner's advantage. Touch is a form of intimacy, even if it's non-sexual. Moving on. The next point in how to treat a man or how to give him emotional security is frequently and actively and intentionally show appreciation. This cannot be understated. Whatever your man is doing to contribute to the relationship, to contribute to the household, to contribute to your security, acknowledge it. A thank you goes a long way. And I appreciate you goes a long way. Sometimes just having patience when he pisses you off, when he irritates you because of that appreciation. Giving him the benefit of the doubt because you appreciate him and he works so hard in other areas when he's coming up short in one area or another. That goes a long way. Sometimes just acknowledging the things he's doing well while you're discussing some of the things he's not doing well goes a long way. It's human nature to want credit for your good deeds, or to want to be recognized for your good qualities, or to be appreciated for your efforts. Sometimes appreciation is how you treat him when you're pissed. Sometimes appreciation is watching your tone, watching how you speak to him. Sometimes your appreciation is protecting the relationship when things aren't going well and not vilifying him during disagreements. Sometimes appreciation is remembering what he gives and what he provides while you're going through things, and always acknowledging his good with his bad. Of course, this should be reciprocated. Both parties should be doing this. This whole list can be reciprocated. But with that said, don't allow him to go unappreciated or allow him to believe that his efforts are being unseen or disregarded or met with indifference. He'll start to resent you and he'll cut his effort in protection of himself. Moving on. Respect his mind when he's looking out for you, when he's trying to protect you, when he's trying to lead you into a different direction, habit, pattern, or practice. Too often, I meet women who have very wise and very insightful partners, but they don't listen to them. They don't hear their advice. They don't seek their counsel. They completely disregard that portion of their partner when it doesn't agree with what they're already going to do. This can leave a man feeling very unvalued, just like the point I always make about a woman's voice and how important it is to a good man. A man's voice should be important to his woman. Sometimes men offer advice to protect their women or to lead them. His instinct to give that advice might come from the core of his masculinity, which you might be rejecting if you don't hear it at all, if you never acknowledge it, or if you don't respect his voice when he speaks up to you, when you need correction, within reason, of course. Where he is equipped to lead, allow him to lead, as he should you. Again, leadership isn't about man or woman, it's about who's better equipped. And when a man is better equipped to tell you some things, please don't be hard-headed. Listen to him. Everything ain't about patriarchy. Sometimes a man is just trying to look out for his woman and protect her from herself or from other people. So anyway, there are more, but I think this video is long enough. Follow me at KidFake24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later.